Hello, and welcome to Funjelah. I'm your host, Anjelah, and I'm fun. That's my intro. I was working on a really long time. Okay, it's Funjelah. That's the name of the podcast, and I'm Anjelah, and I'm fun. That's the whole thing. I'm very clever. It also kind of feels like my my Monica Geller moment where I'm like trying to convince people that I'm fun. Like, Funjelah, I'm Anjelah, and I'm fun. No, I'm fun, really. I stayed up 30 minutes past my bedtime last night, you guys, because Law & Order was real good, and I didn't want to turn it off. So I stayed up late. I'm fun. This is my podcast, you guys. Brand new, brand spanking, and I'm super excited about it. A little bit nervous, I'll be honest. Recording my first podcast, a little bit nervous. I printed out some notes here because I didn't want to forget anything for my first episode. I glued on some eyelashes for you guys. I picked the wrong ones. They were a little dramatic, but it's fine. So we're here. We're doing this. And I have a podcast. And here we go. And some of you might be like, aren't you a little late to the game, Ange? Actually, no. No, I'm not late. I'm right on time. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And so are you. Listening to this podcast. Listen, you guys, this podcast is going to be an extension of what I'm already doing on my social media and my YouTube page. Meaning, like, in my Instagram stories, I'll get real honest and vulnerable, tell you guys some stuff. I show you all my flaws. I'm like, look at this pimple today. Look at my postpartum hair growth and like all the things. And on my YouTube channel, I have my postpartum confessions. And, you know, I've talked about my mental health a lot on my social media and my YouTube. I talked about infertility. I talked about my whole journey to get pregnant, all the things. And so this podcast is going to be an extension of those things, but in a bigger conversation. Like, that's kind of in small bites, you know? It's kind of hard to get real deep on an Instagram story. So this is going to be the same kind of thing, but in a bigger conversation. And what we're going to do is focus on one particular tool that I have learned in my journey with mental health, a tool, a tip, and that is gratitude. Okay. So here's the thing. I've learned many tools. One of the tools, like breathing techniques, like inhale, hold it, exhale, you know, that whole thing. If you don't know, we can do it later. But my breathing techniques, I do that. My gut health supplements that I've been taking, I've talked a lot about my gut health supplements. That has helped with my anxiety. But one of the things that really helps and is free, like you can just do it right now, is practicing gratitude. And gratitude is a way that I have worked with my mental health and my anxiety. And I read a book a long time ago called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And come to find out, I was saying her name wrong for a very long time. I kept telling people Jen Sincero's book. And then I recently just got it again on Audible. And when she says her own name, she says Sincero. And I was like, that's weird. She's saying her name wrong. Why? That's so weird. Anyway, I read her book. It was incredible. But specifically, her one chapter on gratitude really changed my life. And I ended up implementing some stuff from her book into my life. And I want to share some of those things with you right now. I wrote down a couple things because I didn't want to forget. And this is me paraphrasing. This is not me reading verbatim. So I'm not like quoting her exactly. This is what I learned from the chapter on gratitude. Okay. So one of the things she says about gratitude is gratitude just feels good, right? So think about, like, if somebody does something nice for you and then that feels good, and then you say thank you, and then that thank you to them, that feels good. And it's like a big circle of gratitude that just happened. It's almost like, here you go, here's the gift. Oh my God, thank you so much. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's this big circle of gratitude. And another way you can think about it is imagine seeing someone in like uncontrollable laughter, okay? And that feels good. Like you see someone laughing and it's already contagious. Like you already start smiling, right? You're like, what? Like, what is it, right? You're like, you want to laugh too. So already like your vibration is raising to a higher frequency. And that's what gratitude does. It starts raising your vibration to a higher frequency. And so like you see somebody laughing uncontrollably and then here it goes. We're like, I want to laugh too. And maybe you do start laughing and your energy goes up. But now imagine that they are laughing uncontrollably to something that you said. It feels totally different. It feels so good. And I know exactly the feeling because that's what I do for a living. I tell jokes and people laugh. So she says, think about it like this. Their laughter is the thank you. You said something funny. The laughter is the thank you. And then that feels good to me. The laughter feels good. I'm like, let me say another funny thing. And then they laugh and it's this big circle of gratitude. And so we're all like raising our vibration together with gratitude. And to me, that was so powerful. And it was something that I would use when I was feeling anxiety, whether I was traveling, whether I was home, whether I was alone or with people. And one of the ways that I have implemented gratitude into my life is on the road in my green room. So this is how it started. If I was feeling anxious before a show, whatever it may be, maybe my tickets didn't sell well and I have anxiety about it. Maybe I'm trying new material that night and I'm nervous about it. My merch didn't show up and I'm upset about it. Whatever it is, I have some anxiety. I will stop everybody in the green room and I'll be like, you know what? Let's all think of 5 things that we're grateful for and say them out loud. And the reason why we say it out loud is because you think of the thing that you're grateful for. It comes out of your mouth and then you hear what you just said and it goes back into your body. And it's like we're practicing that gratitude circle within ourselves. You say the thing you're grateful for, you hear it, it goes back into your body. And so we're all doing this together. So everybody would go around in the green room, whoever was opening for me, road manager, if the waitress walked in, we're like, girl, what are you grateful for? You know what I mean? Like everybody in the green room is participating in raising our vibration and shaking off this anxiety, this anger, this frustration, this whatever this low vibration feeling is, we're going to shake it off. And then there'll be times where I feel great, but I can see that somebody on my team does not. Somebody is stressed, somebody's feeling a type of way, somebody's nervous, and I'd be like, you know what? We're going to stop and we're going to do our gratefuls. And it's because we feel each other's energy. We feel each other's vibe. And if you're not feeling good, I'm not feeling good. So I'd be like, you know what? We need to pause. I don't know what's going on, but let's think about 5 things that we're grateful for. Let's say them out loud and go through it. And sure enough, by the end of it, we feel better. We've taken our mind off of whatever it was that we were talking about, we were thinking about that was making us upset. And we really just kind of elevated. And all of a sudden, anxiety, if it's not completely gone, it's less. You can function a little more. You could be like, all right, you know what? We could do this. I got this. So this podcast is going to focus on gratitude. Hold on. Let me flip the page of my notes here because I have my notes, like I said, because I don't want to forget nothing. Okay. So this podcast is going to focus on gratitude. We're going to practice gratitude together. We're going to share things that we're grateful for. We're going to raise our vibration. Okay. But listen, I get it. We're all human. Not everything is rainbows and butterflies and feels good. Sometimes things annoy us. And sometimes things make us mad and give us a bad attitude. Or as I like to call it, a maditude. So we're going to start the episode with a maditude. Whatever is annoying us, pissing us off, we're going to get it out of our body. We're going to say it. We're going to get it out. We're going to release it, whatever it is that's been annoying us. And then we're going to move into gratitude. And we're going to just boop, 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 raise our vibration and talk about things that we're grateful for. And it's going to be great. And on this podcast, you can expect me. Sometimes it's going to be me by myself sharing whatever I'm grateful for, a story that happened this last weekend, diving in deep. And we'll have my producing partner, Danielle, here joining us. Say hello, Danielle.
Hello. Hi.
Look at that.
What's up?
Everybody's going to
I'm
get to
here.
know you real good, girl.
Okay, exciting. Also scary.
Yeah. Yeah. You ready to get vulnerable?
Sure.
It
All
was,
right.
I know it wasn't in the job interview a couple years ago. It was like,
No.
yes, I'm good at tour managing. I am good at booking all these things. Are you also good
Yeah.
at sharing your feelings in front of
Uh,
thousands of people?
you know what? I do it for my friends every day. So what's a couple million more?
Yeah,
Th-
let's do it.
I love having friends. So
We're all going to be real good friends after this.
get into it.
Let's get into it. So, you guys, it's going to be us here every other week. And we're going to spend at least 45 minutes raising our vibration together. And sometimes we're going to have a guest. Sometimes I'll have somebody on here that maybe you've listened to their music, maybe you've seen their TV show, maybe you watch their stand up, maybe you read their book, whatever it may be. We'll have some guests on here sharing some gratitude and, you know, a maditude. And we'll start with maditude for this episode. But you know what? Maybe there might be an episode where we start with gratitude and we end with whatever's pissing us off. But I like to start with maditude and get it out the way and end on a high note, like finish with gratitude, finish feeling good. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to do all that work and then be like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm pissed, you know, and then bring it back down. So
Yeah, end on the high note for sure.
yeah, for sure we're gonna end on a high note. That's what you can expect. About 45 minutes every other week. Come raise your vibration with us, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna feel connected to each other, and just feel good. That's what I want for this podcast. I want people to listen to this podcast and walk away feeling good. And I want everybody who's listening to take that good feeling with them to their workplace, to their home, to their family, to their neighbors, wherever they may be, and take that good vibe with them. And that's always what I hope for at my live shows as well. And when I'm doing my sound check at my venues, Danielle, sometimes you've heard me do this. Sometimes I just do it in my head and keep it to myself. And sometimes I do it on the microphone and just proclaim it over the theater that we're at that weekend. And that is always my prayer, is that when people come in to the venue to be a part of this show, that they just get full of joy and that they would take that joy home with them. And it would be almost like joy is just like infiltrating their city, and there's just people who left my show are just leaving with joy, and they're taking it to wherever they work, they're taking it to their family and like sharing it, and everybody raising their vibration together of whatever city that we're going to or whatever city that you're listening in right now. That's my hope for everybody listening to this podcast. And I think we're ready to jump right in. Danielle, is there anything that I forgot from my 84 pages of notes that I took here?
Oh yeah, let me just quickly read all of them.
Okay.
Real quick. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think you did. That was really good. That was a really good description and intro. I feel like that's exactly how you described it to me when
Okay,
I first
good.
started, because I believe you threw that in me. Like there was one day we were backstage and you were just like, "What are you grateful for?" And I was like, "We just met. I don't know. This is a lot." But very true, very right, very peaceful. So I like
And
it.
we've also added it into our team text thread.
Yes. Social
That
team shout out.
social team, hey. So this is something, like I said, we did in the green room, but now we brought it to our text thread. We are on many text threads. I don't know how many text threads you guys are on listening to this or watching on YouTube. Listen, we have about 17 different text threads just with like work things like
Yep.
Anjelah social media, Anjelah TV, Anjelah podcast now, Anjelah book, Anjelah whatever, like all these different threads. And that's just with like work stuff. Then I have like my family threads, my bestie threads, my family thread, like all the different things. I have my siblings, just my siblings, and then I have my siblings with my mom. You know what I mean? Like we got to make sure sometime mom can't be a part of this conversation. You know what I mean? Sorry, mom. I know you're listening right now, but they sometimes it's just for us. We don't have a text thread with my dad. It's just my mom.
Sorry, Dad. Oops.
Sorry, Dad. Even though my dad will text me every now and then and like send me a picture of like the gas prices in Arizona or wherever he's riding his motorcycle.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
and
what are you supposed to do with that? Cool.
Like he's trying to show me like, look how cheap the gas is over here. And the other day I sent him a picture of the gas here in Nashville. And because that's what he does to me, I was like, oh, let me send him a picture of the gas. Well, I didn't see that behind the sign of the gas prices, there was a market and they had a sign saying how much their like chuck roast was at the butcher. And so I didn't see in the back and I sent him the picture of the gas and his reply was, that's a good price for chuck roast. And I was like, oh, I didn't even see the deal going on behind me. I was just sending you gas prices like you do to me. Anyway,
You know what? He seems like someone who's up to date on how much meat should cost.
how
It
much
feels like his vibe.
anything should cost. If you guys want to know if you're paying too much for a certain item, I'm going to give you guys my dad's cell phone number.
Oh, your dad.
Just give him a call real quick and he'll be like, no, you could get it 3 cents cheaper at Kroger. Just drive 10 miles down the street. You'll save 3 cents. It's worth it. Trust me.
You know what? Honestly, like what a gift. What a gift that is. To just
And he's
be on
so
it.
quick at math. I remember thinking that growing up, that my dad was, I could give him like any math problem and be like, Dad, what's 36 times 72? And he'd be like, carry this answer. And I'd be like, whoa, my dad's the smartest guy in the whole wide world. And he could have easily been giving me a wrong answer. I would have never known.
Yeah.
I couldn't fact check.
I hope it was wrong every time. 'Cause that's fantastic. Now I want to start doing that. Like I want to convince people that I also am a math wizard and then just.
Well, now there's Google. There's Siri. Was she right?
Well, I will in the dead zones.
Listen,
when we're in the hills of LA.
Yeah, that's when you got to do it in the dead zones.
It's quick. Ask me a math
Yeah,
question.
yeah. Oh man, I have no service. Ask me trivia. Go.
Oh, pretty set. I know it. That's smart.
Okay. All right. Well, Danielle, should we jump in with our Maditude and gratitude?
What makes you? What's grinding your gears?
I'll tell you what's really grinding my gears.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a side note. Okay.
Hmm.
In my stand-up, I say grinding my gears, right? Obvi, that's why you said it right now.
Yes.
Okay. I say grinding my gears. And there was one other thing. I can't remember what it was right now. But somebody sent me a social media video with this girl. And she was just like talking about something that was like annoying her. But she was saying like, you know, it really grinds my gears. And then she said something else that I also say. And I was like, wait, did this girl come to my show recently?
Was it but did she also say like why I oughta?
I know. And she's like, you know what grinds my gears? The bee's knees. And I'm like, wait a minute, is she doing my act in a social media video?
Like, are you a fan? Wait a second.
But then also, listen, I didn't create grind my gears.
No.
I heard that somewhere and I'm saying it now. But I just thought that was really funny. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This sounds oddly familiar the way you're saying it. Like,
or did you see it on social media and now you just started saying it and you thought you created it?
No, I know I didn't create grind my gears. That's an old
maybe
phrase.
That's why you started saying it because you saw a video. Subliminal messaging.
Yeah, maybe it's that. I'm like, oh my God, they stole my line. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait.
State Farm, we're there? I've been saying State Farm, we're there
for decades.
Like, I can't even tell you for how long I've been singing 1-800-EMPIRE today. Like, I created that because I've been singing it since I was a kid.
Right. And I want my money now.
I cannot tell you how many times I've been saying, I want my money and I want it now.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Let's
So are you
jump
mad
in.
at something or
Yeah.
what's your
No,
deal?
I am pretty mad at something right now.
Okay.
I'm mad at ticks.
Oh,
Yeah. So, you guys,
timely.
recently I had an incident with a tick, and I'm from California. Sure, there's ticks probably in California, but not a lot. Not like where you have to be concerned about them. Like maybe if you go hiking up into the mountains, sure. But just like walking into your backyard, not really. You know what I mean? Well, now I live in Nashville, and apparently it's tick season, and I'm not aware of how ticks work. The other day I was driving and I was wearing a baseball cap all day long, and it's the end of the day. It's nighttime. I'm driving. I take my hat off. I throw it in the seat next to me, and I'm just kind of like scratching my head. Like, you know, you've been wearing a hat all day. You're like, oh, let me just scratch my head. And I feel this bump on the top of my head, and I'm like, what? What is this? Is this like a scab? It felt like a scab, right? I'm like, wait, what the heck? And I'm like scratching. I'm like, is this a scab? I'm like, did my daughter get food in my hair? I got food in my hair? Wait a minute. And I start like scraping. I'm like, what is this? So I go with my fingers. I pull it out. Why do I see little legs crawling?
Ew.
It was a tick
Ew.
in my head, eating my skull, eating away at my brain. I didn't know. I don't know anything about ticks. I don't know how it works, but I had a feeling like I needed to like not let go of it. So now I'm like driving like one hand on the steering wheel and one hand with a tick, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what? It's dark, so I can't really see. And I'm like, I need to pull over. Where is a gas station? I need to get out of here. And then, and I'm on the phone too with Emily. She's on speakerphone at the time. And so like, Emily's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, there's a tick in my head. And then honestly, I really feel like Emily did not have enough compassion for the situation that was happening. If I'm being completely honest,
Does she
I
know
felt
what
like,
ticks are?
I feel like she was busy getting ready to go out to dinner and was like upset that I was having a tick freak out moment. And she's like, okay, well, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, girl, I'm freaking out right now. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Hi, Emily. Thank you for editing this podcast. So anyway, and I'm still holding my fingers like this. Like I still have the tick. Like that's how traumatized I am. My fingers have not let go. Like just in case I telepathically put it back in my fingers. Anyway, so I have this tick. I get to a red light. I pull the receipt out that's in my side door. Guess where it was for? TJ Maxx. Okay. So I pull out my TJ Maxx receipt. And then
You're nothing but if on brand at all times.
All times. Pull a tick out of my head because I'm in the South now. Pull out my TJ Maxx receipt. I put it in there and I squish it. And after that, I'm like, I go home and I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I'm not like tick educated, you know? And then I call Bonzo's vet because she's apparently my primary care doctor now. Yeah. And I'm like, what do I do? And I send her a picture. She goes like, kind of looks like this kind of tick, which doesn't really cure Lyme disease. Like, you know, I'm not like a specialist, but I mean, she's a vet. She pulls out ticks all the time from dogs. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, you know what? I'm fine. I could be dying, but I'm probably fine. I go to bed that night. Then I wake up at 2 a.m, throwing up violently projectile vomiting. And, turns out it has nothing to do with the tick. It was just really bad timing to get food poisoning because I had sushi earlier that day. But yeah, since then it's been really annoying with ticks. I have found 3 more ticks since then.
No.
One on Rosie's nursery floor in front of the crib.
No.
Stop. I was pissed. I was like, don't you
What, the baby?
dare. Don't you dare come for my daughter, okay? Ugly tick. It was already dead, but still I was gonna kill it again.
Gross.
Like,
What if it has
gross.
alive family members
That's what I'm saying.
crawling around?
You know, hold on, my nose is running. Stand by.
Oh, okay. Is it from the tick?
I don't know, but I don't know what this is. I want to wipe my nose with it.
receipt?
Oh, I think this was from the boom mic. It's like I'm gonna wipe my
That's
nose.
just product placement. Just trying to get us.
I'm wiping my runny nose with the cover to the boom mic.
Gross. Oh, we don't need that.
Sorry, babe.
Ew.
I really hope you don't need to recover the boom mic. If you do, maybe just rinse this real quick. Okay. So anyways, I found 3 ticks since then. Rosie's nursery floor and 2 of them on Bonzo. One of them was alive on Bonzo. One of them was dead on Bonzo. And it's been pissing me off. And that I've called different companies to come and spray and get these ticks out of my yard. And now I just I feel itchy at all times. I'm like, great, there's a tick on my bra strap because it itches. Like, forget the fact that no, sometimes your bra strap just bothers you. And I'm like, nope, it's a tick. I'm infested with ticks. So that is something that has been pissing me off and making me mad. And that is my Maditude. And I got it out. I'm going to leave it out there. It's no longer in my body. And I'm just going to move into gratitude. Okay. This is what I'm grateful for right now. I know earlier I was saying we say 5 things that we're grateful for. But I'm going to focus on 1 for this episode. And maybe sometimes I'll do 2. Maybe sometimes I'll do 5. But for this one, I'm just going to do 1. I am grateful for the fact that, okay, let me rephrase. Hold on. I am grateful that I am a mom. And this is big words coming from someone who said she didn't want kids. I am well aware of all the jokes that I've done about how I didn't want kids. And then here I am being a mom. I am so grateful, especially for the past few weeks of being a mom, because I've been off of work. I didn't have shows and I've had some weekends off, and to have a weekend off to like go do weekend family type things has been amazing. But mainly I'm grateful for the little mundane things of life that just feel really special right now. And like making my daughter's meals, I am so happy. Thinking about what I'm going to make her next. And like, okay, what food can I introduce to her? And then preparing it in like little baby portions and putting it in like her little baby plate. And then when I get to feed her and watch her, how she eats, she's like the cutest little eater of all time. Like, don't have me watch my husband eat. It's different feelings. It's different feelings. That's back to a Maditude, if we're going to go back to a Maditude. If I'm watching or even listening to my husband eat. Different feelings. But with my daughter, I love to watch her eat. I love to watch her explore new things. And it's interesting because in the beginning, I was so nervous with introducing solids. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to choke. Oh my God. Like, no, I ordered the full on life vac thing, the choking machine. Have you seen it on TikTok?
Yeah, you showed me the little suction thing.
Yeah, it's a suction thing. Like you put the thing on their face and it's like a plunger and it like sucks the thing out of their mouth if they're choking. Bought it. I bought multiple. I bought one for the car, one for the house. In our LA, I one for the car, one for the house, like everything. I'm like, listen, nobody's choking on my watch. Not my daughter, not your daughter. If we're at the same restaurant, you better believe I'm gonna pull out my choking machine for you because I'm gonna come to rescue. Don't worry. So I was real nervous in the beginning, and now I love feeding her and I love watching her eat. I love watching her figure it out. I love watching when she doesn't like something, when she starts to throw her things on the floor. It's so annoying, but I love it. Like I love all the different seasons with her. And this week especially, it's the little mundane things that we take for granted. And I don't have the opportunity yet to take for granted, you know what I mean? Because I'm still new in the mom club. It's not like, oh, this is like my 3rd kid. And like, no, mundane is making food is annoying. And I might get there in like a couple years and be like, ugh, I got to make her something to eat. But right now, I love it. Right now, I love going to the grocery store with her and putting her in the little shopping cart and like going through the produce aisle and pointing out different vegetables, different fruits, things that she knows and loves, like bananas. Oh my gosh, she loves bananas. Blueberries, stop. She's going to turn into a big blueberry. Like she eats so many blueberries. I've had to go to Costco and I do the double pack of blueberries and we're gone in like a week because my daughter eats so many blueberries. Anyway, I'm just really grateful that I get to be a mom. And I'm grateful that I changed my mind, and that I changed my mind in time, with enough time that I had some eggs left, to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful that she's so special, that I get to be her mom, rocking her to sleep, even when she's like fighting it and is fussing. I'm like so grateful, because as soon as I put her down and she's asleep, it's like, oh yeah, she's finally down. What do? I go straight to the monitor, and now I'm watching her sleep like a psycho. I'm a psychopath for my daughter, just watching her sleep on the monitor, or I'm looking at pictures of her that I took that day, or I'm scrolling back in time and looking at her like 4 months ago, or even like 3 weeks ago. She looks so much bigger now from 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, time really does fly. So I'm very grateful for being a mom right now. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my gratitude today. Danielle.
That's so sweet and
Thank
adorable.
you so much.
I liked, you described it once whenever you were watching her on the monitor. You're like, this is my new favorite TV show. You're like, tune in.
Totally. It really is. It's my new favorite show. I pay a subscription for it, so it's just like any other streamer.
Yeah, like I feel like in the green room I used to look over and it was just like Christopher Maloney and Law and Order and blah blah blah, and now I look over and I'm like, oh, okay, you psycho, you're just staring at your sleeping daughter.
Yeah, it's crazy how things. You know what else is interesting that you mentioned about like Law and Order? Everybody knows my favorite show of all time, Law and Order SVU. I've seen every episode, seen it again and again. Now, all of a sudden, now that I'm a mom, there's certain episodes that I skip. There's like certain moments that I'm like, fast forward. I don't like this part. No, thank you. I was never like that before. Now all of a sudden I'm like, nope, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Skip. Next episode. I've already seen it. I don't need to see it again. Next.
Totally new perspective. My mom does the same thing. She's also a big Law and Order fan, and I've noticed too that she'll just be like, she'll skip it. She's seen all the episodes too. She's all caught up and everything.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need to see the one about the college age girl and like whatever season of life you're in. She's like, nope.
Yes, absolutely. Because anytime anybody goes missing that's my age or like from an area, she'll send me the article. She'll send me like, this is such classic mom who like doesn't live. It will be me, but like this is a classic mom who like doesn't live where their kid is, because she'll like send me like, there was a forest fire in San Bernardino. That's close to you, right? And I'm like, no, it's not. But thank you so much for checking in on me.
Yeah, that is a mom thing. I'm definitely going to do that to Rosie when she gets big.
100%. You'll be like, I mean, yeah, like she could be living in like San Francisco and you'll be in Nashville and then there's a fire in LA and you're like, there's a fire in LA. Are you okay?
Wait,
like,
she's gonna live away from me?
It might happen. Although you do live in two of my favorite cities. So
I do.
The best ones.
Well, listen, it also kind of reminds me of my Tia Mary. And when she was alive, she died at 102 years old, you guys. She lived an amazing life. And one thing that she used to do when I was traveling on the road, she would call me. She would ask where I was, or I would call her and we'd just be talking. She would ask where I was. And no matter what city I said, no matter where I said I was on my way to, where I was going, her answer was always the same. With the weather the way it is.
How did she always, was she running the Weather Channel? Like, how did she always know?
If she saw a storm anywhere, that's probably where I was going. Like, she saw a storm in Oklahoma. Where are you going? I'm going to Washington. With the weather the way it is. Yeah, I'm going to be fine. I'll be okay. That's what that reminds me of.
I feel like parents love weather. My mom loves to talk to me about the weather. I think it's because she wants to live in LA. Deep down, I think that's what it is. She wants the sunny weather, and she's like, "Oh, 90 degrees in Texas right now," and I'm like, "Well, that was your choice." So,
yeah, the weather. As we get older, the weather is what we talk about. What we ate or what somebody ate is always
how well you slept.
A topic of conversation. How well you slept, always a topic of conversation.
And like, then whatever's currently aching you, like
Yep.
My Like everyone's got like an ailment.
That is so funny. Yes, there's always an ailment. What's your ailment? What's your sleep score? And what were they serving at the restaurant? What'd you order?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, what do you got? I'm so busy. I got to get stuff done today. It's always just
errands. Always errands.
Weather, ailments, and then we die. So there we go.
Thank you for joining us.
Hope you're leaving on a positive note.
Danielle, what's grinding your gears?
Okay. So I started making a list recently because whenever I would clock something bothering me, I was like, let me just write this down and save it for later. But I was thinking about this past weekend, kind of goes with my gratitude. But what really bothers me and makes me crazy is when people don't follow directions. Like, and here's what I mean by that. Like, we were leaving this event and there's clearly people who are like, everyone needs to exit this way. This is the path that we have created. Here's where you go to get your Uber. Here's how and you go this way to go to parking. And people were just like, well, I'm going to go this way. And I'm like, no, there are rules in place for a reason.
You guys all know who Danielle was in the group project. Okay. She was back then. She is today. That is who Danielle is. There are rules for a reason.
Hey, and here's the thing. And I don't always, and like, listen, if I think the rule is dumb, I'm not going to follow it. But these were not dumb.
But only if I think it's dumb.
Only if I think it's, because it was like they had a system in place. And I was like, listen, I was at the Hollywood Bowl and I'm like, how many bowl shows have there been? A bajillion.
Name dropper. I was at the Hollywood Bowl. Okay.
But it's like they clearly have it like figured out. Like they have like their little Uber lines. And so we were trying to get over to get our Uber that we had already called. And there was people that were just like standing. Here's the thing too, it's a safety reason. Okay. They were just standing in the middle of the road.
This is for your own good, you guys.
Exactly. So you don't get hit by the cars because nobody knows where they're going. They're trying to leave. They're trying, that it holds like 17,000 people. So like,
yeah, that's a lot.
All those people were all trying to leave at the same time.
And everyone got an Uber.
Yeah. Everybody's getting an Uber. Everybody's trying to walk down to Hollywood Boulevard and get an Uber down there. Like there's parking. But people, and then like it was funny to personally though, it was kind of funny to watch like the security guards like just fully yelling at these adults, like, get out of the road. Like, just, like, and I was like with them. I was like, yeah, get out of the road.
Love
like,
a good adult reprimand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's something real like, it's so cringe about an adult reprimand. Yeah. Like a child reprimand. Like if you see a child get reprimanded like at the grocery store or something, like I'm on board. I'm like, yeah. Listen to your mom. I got your back, lady. You want me to jump in? Yeah. I got you. You know what I mean? But like an adult reprimand, I'm like, look away. Look away.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, you're 47 and this 18-year-old is yelling at you because they're the one running the traffic. And I'm also like, you don't know how stop signs work? I don't understand.
I don't understand. So your Maditude is people not following directions.
Well, yeah, and then just like being oblivious, and I'm like, know your surroundings, know where you are,
know your surroundings,
recognize that you're in
back
the
to
middle
safety,
of the road.
back to safety, know your surroundings.
All about safety, like just I don't know. I'm like, just be aware and like pay attention, and like I'm like, listen, we all want to get out of here.
Yeah,
trust me, I want to get home too. This is a conundrum. We're all in this together. Let's work as a team and get out of my way.
Yeah, let's work as a team. Me first.
I was here first because I followed directions.
Exactly. That's a good one. That's a good Maditude. That I can see how that would have grinded your gears for sure.
My gears, they're ground.
Yeah. Ground to the ground. Grounded them gears.
Grounded.
All right. Well, you got it out of your body. You let it go. Just release it. There it goes. It's flying away.
Like my new yoga move. Like,
yep. Release that Maditude. Release it out of your body. Let it go. Now let's move into some gratitude.
Okay, I'm really excited for this one.
Oh my god. If you say Taylor Swift, I'm gonna punch you through this Zoom screen right now.
Did you see my code just then? I was like,
got it.
For Emily. So My
not
okay,
not trying to give Emily cues, but not for Emily. Not like we could just make a note and write it down and tell her later. We're just gonna audibly try to be a ventriloquist. Oh, just a cue for 5 minutes.
Cut that out real quick. Listen, it's my first podcast too.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I got here an hour early, and I still only remember to put the SD card in as I already hit record.
Yeah.
So
you're like, why is it not recording?
I was like, I'm confused. We're learning together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, gratitude.
Yep,
What
gratitude.
What do I like? Okay, wait. Like I said, hand in hand. So I'm okay. Yes, on a regular basis, I am grateful for Miss Taylor Allison Swift, but she is not the topic of discussion today. But she will be in the future, so get ready. Recently, I was at the Bowl, Hollywood Bowl, to be
Name
specific.
dropper. Okay, continue.
There are several in the area. And my dad was able to come in town, and we went to a show at the Hollywood Bowl. And my dad doesn't live here. Fun fact for everyone listening. And we got to see 4 of his favorite comedians of all time. I mean, these are comedians that my dad has sent me Facebook videos of constantly.
Facebook
videos, to be specific, as if I haven't heard these jokes before. And I'm
it's so interesting, the generation of social media. It's like the young kids rule the TikTok. Okay. And then Emily likes to get upset with me for not like hanging out on TikTok more. But I hang out on Instagram because that's where like the millennials, the elder millennial, that's kind of like where we live. And then the older generation above us, Facebook all day long. And then the older generation above them, you just got to give them a good old fashioned phone call.
Yeah. I was like, MySpace? No.
Yeah. Okay. So dad's in town. You go to the Bowl.
Dad's in town. We go to the Bowl. 4 favorite comedians. He sends me their Facebook videos all the time. And it was really exciting just because he's never been there before. So we got there early, and you can see the Hollywood sign from where you're sitting. And it was so beautiful. The weather was fantastic, as we talked about the weather.
Did you bring food?
And you can bring your own food in. And
did you? What'd you bring? See, this is me being older. Tell me about the food.
Charcuterie, some meats and cheeses. Some shortbread cookies.
Love that.
Some water with electrolyte packets, because my dad's all about the electrolyte packets.
Yes, sir, Coach Roach.
We got to stay hydrated. And we, got our dollar cushions because we're old.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Because it's just a wooden bench that you sit there, and it's fine, whatever. And like I've been there before for concerts, and you're standing, but this one I was like, we will be sat
the whole time. That's a good idea.
Well, they sell them, so they have them. It's sponsored by American Express.
Okay.
And you can either pay $1, or if you have an Amex card, you get it for free.
Stop.
So they flashed that
business card.
Business card. And my dad had one too. We were like, fling, fling. And then of course my dad's like, it's not gonna charge. It's my school card. You're not gonna charge me here yet. Like, just you want to scan it? Where is that scanning to? I'll just pay the $1.
Is this Costco rules? I just flash it to you, and that's good enough.
Yeah. He was like, well, hold on a second. Can't get this getting back to my school. He was like, I'll just pay the $1. Give him the $1.
I got all nervous. Forget it. Abort.
Yeah. So we sat there, and then I think my favorite part was, like, obviously working with you. I've met some of the comedians that were on the stage, and we interact with different ones all the time. And so I'm kind of like not jaded, but like used to. I'm like, oh yes, I'm used to interacting with celebrities. And or just at least seeing them out here all the time and going to different shows. And so it was fun to see my dad like get all giddy because he hadn't seen any of them in person. And like it was adorable. Like he would like hit my arm and be like, look. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. I'm watching it.
Aw, Dad, Coach Roach, you had the best time ever.
It was the best time ever. It was so, it was just so funny when he was like hitting my arm and was like, Jerry freaking Seinfeld. And I was like, yeah, I see him. Like, and so that was super fun. And like, normally at comedy shows, you can't take no photos, no videos.
Right.
But at the Bowl, you could do that. I knew they were all doing like older material. And so he was like taking pictures of all the comedians for his friends and like texting them throughout the show.
Hella far away. Looks like an ant on stage.
We're so far away. We're in like the second to back section. They were still expensive seats, but I was like, we're in the room where it happens, you know? And but yeah, it was just such a fun experience to be in that like historic space and then seeing like people that he's like followed for years. And they were all, to my favorite part was like they were all just so quintessentially them. They were so true to like what makes them who they are. And it was a great show. It was a fabulous show. You know, like I said, it was a little chaotic getting out afterwards.
But we've let that go.
We let it go.
What a cool thing that you got to be a part of that core memory for your dad. Yeah. And I think like it's so cool to, you know, see somebody get like excited for something, but it's different when it's your parent because it's almost like his turn to be the kid because really like our parents are just kids who got bigger. You know what I mean? So like he's still that kid inside and he got to like let that out a little bit with you and you got to witness it. You got to witness your dad have a little bit of that kid joy. That's pretty special.
Yeah, because I think like, I mean, I always love seeing other people get excited. I love the way that my friends or other humans love other things. I think it's so fun to see somebody just having the best time of their life. It's why I'll never understand when people get mad at people for being fans of stuff. And I'm like,
right. Yeah.
Oh, they're so happy. Like, this is what they love. Like, look how happy they are. And that was so fun because I think for a lot of us too, like our parents, like, you know, is, you know, very traditional of like left school, got married, had kids, started working, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, yes, they may be doing stuff that they love, but now it's like, especially with me living out here, like my parents, I don't know that they would have ever come to Los Angeles had I not lived out here.
Right.
It's like they get to like, I mean, like they're coming to visit me later this year and I'm just like excited to just like show them around, even though they've been here so many times. But I'm like, look at this they updated the Minion at Universal.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I remember one time my mom came to visit me years ago. She came to visit me in LA and I had an audition at the Warner Brothers lot. And so I had a drive-on pass to like park there. And I was able to get my mom a pass to come with me. And I was like, Mom, come with me to my audition. And for those of you listening, watching, the way it works at these studios is if you're not like on a tour, like on a tour bus and you pay a ticket to go on a tour and you stay with your guide and you're on the bus and it takes you wherever you go. If you have a meeting or an audition, you have to have a pass approved by someone. They check your driver's license. Like it's very secure, you know? And then if you get a drive-on pass, like that's big time because a lot of times they make you park at the lot across the street and then you got to walk onto the lot. I've done both. And so this time I got a drive-on pass and I was able to get my mom a pass as well. And I was like, Mom, come with me to this audition and just like wait outside while I do my audition. And then we'll walk around the lot and I'll just like give you my own tour basically. And so we did that, went to the audition, didn't book it, by the way. Not mad about it. That's for next week's Maditude. And I start giving my mom this tour and I'm showing her like, this is where Friends was filmed. And, you know, we can't see anything, but it's like, this is the soundstage. This is where it was filmed. Anyways, we start going and we're in like fake, like New York area and they were actually filming something. And I was like, oh, let's just, you know, get as close as we can to see what they're filming. And I remember it was Christian Slater was filming something. I don't know what he was filming, but he's from an era of where my mom loved, like not saying that like he's not that old, but
No.
my mom definitely knew who Christian Slater was. You know, it's not like this like new school, like you got to explain like, oh, this is that actor from this show. And she'd be like, oh, okay. You know, it was like Christian Slater. And he was right there. And I remember it was so cool to just be able to walk my mom around this like movie magic studio. And she got to like see it happen. And it was very cool. So just to co-sign on that, it's like super cool to be able to do something special for your parents and watch them get super giddy and excited and happy.
Yeah, it's adorable, really. And then like a little bit embarrassing, but adorable mostly.
Yeah. But that's what this whole podcast is about, really, is feeling good and sharing that good feeling, sharing some good stories, sharing some good vibrations. And that's kind of the point of what we're doing here. We're going to have some laughter, some vulnerability, some humility, some all the illities will be a part of this podcast. But you guys, I'm so grateful for you tuning in and listening to the first episode of Funjelah podcast. I'm so grateful for you being a part of this journey with me, whether you came here from my social media, from my YouTube, whether you saw me on a different podcast and then you're like, oh, let me go check out her new podcast. However you found yourself here, I'm grateful that you decided to give it a chance. And if you're still listening up to this point, then you really did give it a chance. You hung out for a while, and I'm grateful for that. This is what we're going to do. Every other week on Funjelah, we're going to share gratitude. And I would also like to hear what you guys are grateful. So what you can do is you can call me and you can leave me a message and tell me something that you're grateful for. And we may just play yours on a future episode. So here's the phone number. It is 747-300-5380. Once again, oh my God, we should come up with a little slogan, a little jingle for it. Like,
because I was just imagining it like
today.
flashing. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, like I imagined that it was like flashing, like a call now for easy payment. So
oh my gosh. So call the number, share your gratitude, and if you come up with a jingle for the phone number, share that as well.
Please leave your jingles.
Please leave your jingle at the beat. Bye. Okay, one more time. It's 747-300-5380. I'll tell you something that always bothers me is when people are saying a phone number and they mix double digits with single digits, like 747-300-5380. And I'm like, no, wait, hold on. Keep doing it the way you were doing it, which is single digit, 5380. Like my brain starts uncomputing at that point. Anyway.
Especially if it like messes it up. Like I swear there was some sitcom episode. Because once again, I'm pretty sure my dad sent me a Facebook video of this where like one of the dads in the sitcom was trying to tell the phone number and he's like, what's the phone number? And he's like, okay, 16.
Nope.
7.
Nope.
And you're like, no, because you said 6 first, but it's really 1. Like that's like, I swear if you know what sitcom that's from.
Don't do it. 747-300-5380.
No, I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it either. Just single digits. 747-300-5380. Leave us a message. Tell us what you're grateful for, and we may play yours on a future episode. Listen, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if nobody's told you today, I am grateful for you. Bye.
Bye.
We did it.